Get your news in an easier, more efficient way this new year. The Newsworthy breaks down the day's top stories in less than 15 minutes and gives you some lighter conversation starters. It's quick, friendly, and informative. Search The Newsworthy wherever you're listening now and follow or subscribe to The Newsworthy today.
Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamal, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon, and I am so excited because I have such a special guest on today. I met her at my London workshop back in October. Welcome, Bessie, to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Shannon, for having me.
I am so excited to have you, and I am popping her cherry for podcasts. So this is her first time on a podcast, which if any of you guys have either never been on a podcast or you have and you remember that first one, you know that it's like, oh my gosh, what should I say? What should I do? So we're going to give her so much love and know that she's in the right space. And we're just having a simple conversation. So I'm so glad you're here. Why don't you first just start off by telling everybody who you are, what you do, what brought you to this space?
Well, I am a yoga and Pilates teacher, and I am the creator of the Bessy Raffaello Method, which is my take on movement, breathing, ritual. And as a result of that, I have started doing retreats, and they've really, accelerated in the last 18 months. And I have to say a lot of that is because I've been a regular listener, Shannon, to your podcast. I came to the workshop that you did in London, which is amazing. I've got your book, and I haven't just read it, I've implemented lots of the things that you said in there. And I'm still on my journey, but I've learned so much, and I'm absolutely stoked to be able to share some of that with the listeners today.
Oh, Bessie, thank you so much. I am so excited for you to share as well, because I know what we're going to talk about today is it affects probably 90+% of the folks who are going into the retreat business. And that is launching yoga and Pilates retreat, or really any kind of retreat, whatever your retreat is, with limited resources and maybe not even a full, clear blueprint of exactly what needs to happen, what to do, right? So there's so many of us. And by the way, that's how I started 15 years ago. I just was like, let me just put some shit together. You know what I mean? And so talk to me about what that has looked like for you and the challenges that you've had with that.
Yeah. So I guess it always starts with a dream, doesn't it? You have an audience or you have clients, and you think, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could do this somewhere sunny or near a beach, or take more time to go deeper rather than just have a 60-minute class? And you get your regular clients and you kind of brainstorm ideas and you talk about, oh, what if we did this or what if we did that? And for me, I went on a retreat about 10 years ago now, when one of my parents passed away, and it really helped me navigate that really bad time in my life. And it really stayed with me, and I wanted to be able to offer that nurturing space, to hold space for my clients. Now, the challenge I had was I had successfully run yoga retreats, but I really wanted to run a Reform Pilates retreat, and I wouldn't have it as a no, I wanted to do it somewhere in Europe. But in England, we're about 10 years behind the reformer wave. And I would say Europe is even further behind. And the biggest challenge that I had was actually finding anywhere that had reformer machines. Now, it's hard to believe that there are people out there who don't know what a reformer is, but that's because I work with them every day. And if anyone out there doesn't know, a reformer is a piece of equipment that was invented by Joseph Pilates, and it's used to do different types of movement on. But it's quite a big piece of equipment, and they're very expensive, and you have to have the space to put them in there. There's lots of logistics involved. So I then had this deep dive of trying to find somewhere in Europe that I could host a retreat for reformers, and that B, had reformers, or how would I get the reformers there? So that was the first challenge. And then, of course, the money side as well, all the different venues and how you find them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to first jump in here because two things. I love that you were like, I'm determined, because yes, you can do mat Pilates, you know, whatever, but you're determined that this is what you want to see and do. And even though it's maybe some people would think it's tougher, this was your determination. So I love that. As a side personal note, so there's a brand new studio that just opened in my small little town here in Marble Falls, Texas, which is in the country outside of Austin. And this sweet woman opened up her a Pilates reformer studio here in Marble Falls, which just blows my mind. And she's got 8 reformers. And I just took a class with her, and y'all, I could not fucking walk for 2 days afterwards. And it was awesome. And so
I love it.
My husband and I are going to go together because he loves that kind of stuff too. Like, he loves being challenged physically when it comes to, like, good for you. It's good for you, challenge y'all. It's good for you.
Absolutely.
So he's going to go with me, and we're probably going to join because even though it whipped my ass, it targeted the muscles that you don't normally target. Yes, it targeted the big muscles, but definitely targeted the small muscles too, in such a way that you're like, I didn't even know that muscle existed. And so
exactly, this is why it is so popular, and the increase the reformer business is booming. The Pilates business is booming. Yoga is still booming. This isn't a niche area anymore. Once upon a time, no one would have heard of a reformer. Pilates was niche. People thought yoga was niche. Now wellness isn't a £1 million business or a £1 billion business. It's a £1 trillion business.
Yes.
And that's what I remind myself if I ever have those little self-doubting moments. I think, Bessie, this business is worth trillions. You only want a tiny piece of that.
That's right.
So you don't need the whole pie.
That's right.
Just keep believing.
And there's people like me who are, listen, I'm newly falling in love with Pilates reformers, but there's millions of people across the globe who absolutely, this is just like you said, it's such a growing industry. A piece of the wellness industry is this reformer movement, I guess you could say. It's been for a long time. It's been here for a long time, but I can see it. Obviously, literally a studio opened here in little town Marble Falls. And so there are going to be people, Bessie, like me, who are like, how cool would it be to have this experience on retreat? And so tell me how difficult this is. You found 2 places, because we're going to talk about 2 retreats that you've got coming on. How did you make it happen? Tell me.
Well, it was difficult. You would think, this is one of the things that I'm sure you may have found this as well. You cannot give people your money sometimes. I found venues that I thought would be perfect, and there were just so many obstacles. It was like, do you actually want people to come here, and do you want to make any money? I couldn't find anywhere that had reformers to start with. I really did look. So I thought, okay, if I can't find a venue that has reformers, there must be studios. Maybe I can rent them from the studios. Maybe I can hire a storage unit to put the reformers in. I was thinking all these things.
Sure.
So I just emailed. I looked at all the locations I wanted to host a retreat. So I looked at Spain, Portugal, Italy, France. I looked at the locations that were not too far away from the airport, and I looked at reformer studios, and I emailed loads of people. Again, I would say 80% of people didn't even bother applying.
Wow.
But then the 20% who did, those are the people that I contacted, and then I really struck absolute gold. And when something you just think this was meant to be, you meet that person, you connect with them, and I met this amazing woman called Victoria, who is my business partner in Portugal. And she was like, oh my God, it's really uncanny that you've messaged me, because I am just also thought I've got a studio in Portugal, and I also want to start doing retreats, and I would also like to offer a consultancy to people that want to do retreats. And I was like, oh, I'm in. Let me just give you my money now. And we went quite far down the road. And one day I said to her, Victoria, I have to say, I just suddenly thought, I've never actually met you. Are you actually Victoria? Am I being wellness catfished here by somebody? But so what happened for our first retreat together is she has her studio, and we hired a lorry, drove the reformers to the retreat space. You had to set them up. Obviously, this is all extra stuff.
Sure.
And it was at a venue that had a dojo or yoga studio, and we just took out all the mats and we put the reformers in, and it was fantastic.
Oh,
I mean, there were problems. The lorry broke down.
of course. Listen,
Of course.
there is
And-
always going to be a hiccup, always.
But yeah, it was really, really good. And then from there, I'm doing another one with Victoria in January. And then I found Italy, which was, I mean, what is not to love about Italy? It's just, it's a bucket list location.
I have family there. Yes, I love that.
Yeah. So Italy, again, it was a hard venue to find, which you would think it wouldn't be, because it's a villa, but it's an old farmhouse that actually has a bespoke reformer studio that's built in their house. And it's owned by a Canadian guy, and he rents it out, but it wasn't really advertised. So it was I had to really search to find this place. And I'm really excited about that. And then since then I have found a couple more locations. I'd really like to do something in Greece. I mean, if there's anyone out there listening who has a space with the reformers, please get in contact with me, because I'm always looking for new locations. And I found somewhere in Sri Lanka, but I just love Europe. There's so many nice places to go. And the great thing is for us here, I guess it's like if you're flying internally in the States, you can easily do like a 3 or 4 night retreat. You don't have to go away for a whole week. It can be something that you have as part of your kind of wellness protocol, going on a couple of retreats a year. And it's a really nice thing to do. And it's a nice thing to be able to offer my community. I love it. I love it. And it's growing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if anybody wants to host a Pilates reformer retreat at Retreat Ranch, we can probably contact the local studio now and see if she wants to bring her 8 reformers over, or it's close enough that we could just transport the guests over to the studio as well if we needed to. So
perfect.
I love that. Hey guys, Shannon cutting in here real quick. Listen, the Retreat Industry Forum is happening May 14th through 17th in Denver, Colorado, and it's not your average feel-good conference. This is where bold retreat leaders, venue owners, industry pros, small business entrepreneurs come together to disrupt, challenge, and advance what's possible in our industry. You'll get cutting-edge strategy, real-world business tools, and high-level conversations about profitability, innovation, and sustainability without the fluff or kumbaya. Join myself, my friend Erin and Allison, along with other powerhouse leaders for 3 immersive days of connection, collaboration, and serious business growth, plus an exclusive VIP experience for those ready to go even deeper. Get all the details and grab your ticket now at retreatindustryforum.com. This isn't just another event, you guys. It's the movement that's reshaping the future of the retreat world. Oh my gosh, I love that so much, Bessie. So you were determined. You're like, this is the type of retreat I want. And by the way, I'm hosting a retreat in France in 2027. And I do have to say, in my research and all of my reaching out and narrowing down the final location, which I'm coming in May to France to finalize all that in person, because it's just, I believe you need to see the space. You were so right. Do you know how many people, I'm begging them to take my fucking money. What is happening
Shannon,
here?
I hear you. You can't understand it. It's a mindset that I don't get, but it's true. It happens. People don't want the money. They're not interested.
Yeah, there's actually, I started with 6 chateaus that I was like, oh, I love these. Out of the 6, 3 never even responded, like nothing at all. One was like, well, we might, I'm like, this is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I'm going to hand over to you. And like, I'm looking at renting it for 7 days, full buyout. What's happening here? And so, yeah, I feel like I'm begging them to take my money, which I refuse to do, because it's like, okay, if I'm having trouble even at this stage,
it's a red flag.
Yes, it tells me what kind of trouble I'll have later. But I've got 2 beautiful chateaus. And so lovely. I'm going to finalize and go look at each of them and just find, I can't go wrong with either one. But anyway, I just had to say that because I feel you.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it's just I'm glad it's not just me, because you think, is it personal? Do they
No.
something about me?
No.
But
I think
that is a learning experience in itself,
it
when you think,
is.
oh, people are going to be so wanting to have you there, and they're going to want to give you. You shouldn't have to chase people to try and get them to want your money. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, I do think it kind of goes like Erin, who was at the workshop as well. She does a lot of work in Europe, especially. And when I was telling her this, she's like, Shannon, that's just the way it is. And so there's this whole thing that, like, when you are planning trips, retreats, and they are going to be international as far as out of your home country, it is important to kind of have an idea of, and I didn't. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't have an idea of, like, what that culture feels like. Like, if you're going to host a retreat in Costa Rica, they operate a whole different time zone, and it's in their head, by the way. And what I mean is, it's like, you might say, oh, I'd like the meals to be served at 8 a.m. And you're like, it's 8:45. What's happening? Oh, we're getting started now. It's around 8. So you just, you have to just understand the culture too. And so, and you have an appreciation for that. But I do feel the pain of, like, I just want to give you my money and book your beautiful place.
Yeah. And another thing I'd say, if anyone is considering doing a European retreat, is it's so important to check out where you're going, especially if you're thinking about having dinners out or lunches, because a lot of countries in Europe, they will often close on a Monday or a Tuesday, sometimes on the Wednesday. If it's a special holiday, they might even be closed the whole week. So you could end up going there thinking you're going to go to this amazing restaurant. Everything is closed. Yes. You cannot buy anything. You won't be able to buy milk. You won't be able to get anything to eat. And they'll go,
yes,
oh, it's closed. It's a holiday.
Like, literally, it's just closed. You know what? I thought tomorrow I'm going to take the day off. Yes, I have lots of family in Italy. I've spent a lot of time over there personally, and you're absolutely right. So you got to kind of have a plan, and then have a backup plan, and once again, it goes to, this is whether it's anywhere. You really need to put your physical body in the space that you're going to take your group to, so that you have an idea of what's happening. And I feel like, too, Bessy, you establish a relationship with that business, even if it's just a very brief one, so that when you come back, there's this familiarity that feels comfortable, and like, oh, hey, Bessy, it's good to see you again. And I'm excited to bring everybody here. So, but that's really good advice as well. What else have you learned along the way of kind of trying to figure this blueprint out on your own?
Yeah, well, I think definitely making sure you have all your numbers. I mean, as Erin always says, the numbers don't lie, and the numbers don't lie.
Yep.
I have looked at some places that I really loved to look at, and I really wanted to do it. But realistically, when I wrote all those numbers down, I thought, no, you're not going to make enough money to do it. So I'm a freelance teacher. I work at lots of different places. So when I do a retreat, I have to cost in the loss of those earnings for that week. That's one of the first things that goes on my retreat budget. And then I also put in my recce trip, my go and look there, my flights, all of those things. Yeah, because it's not a holiday. It is actually work. And then another thing I think that's quite important that I've learned is to not overpromise too much. So I think the first one I ever did, I was thinking, they'll want to have people want to have massages, and I think we need to do some day trips, but actually you need to have enough space in there for people to actually enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Sometimes less is more. And then another big one for me is actually as a host. So when I'm doing it myself, if I'm not doing it with anybody else, I can't do more than 3 days holding space for people. It's just without another person facilitating with me.
Yeah. Good for you for knowing
for
that.
my energy levels, I can't do it. So I think you have to really know yourself and know about the energy that you bring and how much you can contain and how many days you need for yourself. So I also I come a day before, and I try and stay a few days later so I can have time to decompress and review, and also quite often have ideas then. And that also goes on my budget.
That's right.
Because it's still not a holiday. That's part of the process.
It is.
So all of those things add up. Yeah,
I love
that's what I'd say. It's very easy to want to do something so much. You're not really honest about how much things cost because you just want to do it so badly.
And you're so excited that you cram it, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
We see a lot of first-time retreat hosts come through the ranch here at the venue, and I can if I didn't already know, which I 99.9% of the time I already know, but if I didn't already know, I know by the time I get their agenda if they're a new host. And I'm like, there's literally not time for them to go piss in this, agenda. Like and I don't typically give feedback because they're just running a venue, and unless they ask me to, but once in a while I'll be like, Lily, we might want to let them know that they're not even going to have time to get to the horse stables with this agenda or get back from the horse stables with this agenda. Like that's how packed it is. And you're absolutely right. I prefer, Bessy, and I think this is what you've learned as well, is you might have one core concept, one core workshop, one core outing. There's one core thing, right, of that day. And then you might have a couple tiny little fillers in there, but it's one core thing. And then what I like to do is I'll create space for them to do things or not. So what I mean by that is we've got lots of downtime in between our core thing. And I might have adult coloring books out. Before you laugh, those are really cool. And so not you, Bessy, but maybe who's listening might think
I know,
adult coloring books. I might have a do-it-yourself mala station where they're making their own mala bracelets. I might have a painting station set up. I might have, I might have all these different things that are totally optional. You may not even look at them. You may want to go take a nap. You may want to go for a walk. You may want to go into town, whatever may be the case. But so that there's space in there for the things, the processing, the integration, and the community, to just connect with another guest that's there, or, maybe there's animals, whatever it is. And so I do think that's super important. And I think for first-time hosts hearing that you've got to have space in there.
Yeah. And just make sure that you think about the kind of peace that people need to have on their retreat as well.
Yeah.
And also another kind of learning, I suppose, as well for me is the actual energy of the group itself. So I guess I'm at a tipping point with my retreat business in that I have core clients who've been with me for a long time, and I have repeat people coming on my retreats. But if I want to kind of elevate and move forward, I do need to broaden it out slightly, not just to my core audience, but the other people out there who want to come on retreats as well.
Yes.
But then you want to make sure you've got the right energy. So my core audience is women 35 to 60, and they're normally going through some sort of lifestyle change, whether it's they've had children, they're managing being a parent, perimenopause, menopause, and they want their own space. So you have to make sure that the people in the group have a good energy, because if you have that one person who's the energy drain, it can ruin it for absolutely everybody. And I have had that happen once, and it was not a nice experience.
I have had it happen twice, which I'll count that as somewhat of a success for as long as I've been doing it. But they were two really bad ones. One, the police even had to be involved. And so,
oh my gosh,
I totally agree with you, Bessy. And I recorded a podcast earlier on my own, and the whole theme of it, which won't be released until January, but it's all about attraction and repelling, believe it or not. Like who you're attracting is important. And we talk about that in business all the time. But also who you're repelling is just as important, because somebody should be able to read your stuff and they either go, ooh, I want to go hang out with her. I want to go to Bessy's retreat. Or they go, nope, she's not for me. And that's okay. Like that's okay. That means you've done your job, Bessy. That's not an insult. That's information. That's clarity. Because not everybody is for everybody, and that doesn't mean that they don't deserve respect or love, or that has nothing to do with it. It's just like an example is I curse a lot, and that rubs some people really wrong. So they're definitely not going to want to come on my retreat because they will not enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you that you have to have, you can't be, it's the same as when you're a teacher, you can't be everybody's teacher. One person's favorite teacher is somebody else's. Oh, I can't stand her. I don't like her.
Yeah.
What she's doing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bessy, before we talk and end on your retreats that I want you to share, so you did everything on your own. You're figuring it out, which you've done a fantastic job, even, by the way, through our mistakes. That's where we learn the most. And then you decided to invest in yourself, and you decided to I don't know, like every other industry in the world, you decided to take some trainings or courses or my workshop in London. And tell me your thoughts about that.
Okay, so first of all, I know that you've got another workshop coming up next year.
Yes.
And, if I could get there, I absolutely will.
I hope you do. I really do.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love to because, okay, so one thing I would say is if anyone is out there listening thinking, I think it sounds really good fun, but really interesting. I'd really like to go, but I don't know. I haven't done a retreat yet. Or am I a big enough retreat leader? Have I done enough to come? Stop right there and just go anyway. So I booked quite last minute. I had heard, I listen to your podcast all the time and I've read the book. I've got it on audiobook as well. That's how much I loved it. Because sometimes I refresh, keep going over it. But we have as women, I think sometimes that imposter syndrome, I was thinking, well, I've only done, I've not been around for that many years doing retreats and I don't do them all the time. I only do 3 a year, but I wanted to go. So I booked it and I went. And it was absolutely fantastic. I love you anyway. And I've had Erin before on the podcast and I've got her book as well, Pricing Overhaul. It's so good. If you're ever unsure about numbers or maths, just read that book.
Yes.
Because I love that. I love her. Like, you can do maths. You can do maths. Yes, I can, Erin. Yes, I can do maths. You told me and it's true. Can I? Yes, I can. But yeah, it's that going somewhere, being in the room with people who are doing the same thing as you or dreaming the same dream, and having people, instead of maybe stamping on your green shoots of ideas and being like, what, I don't know, or you've not done that before, or aren't you meant to be doing this? Or having people saying, yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. That's a good idea. Or that could be a good idea. Have you thought about doing this? And hearing from all of your experience, having Alison and her talking about her, the promise and really focusing you on what your actual aim is, what your promise, what you can deliver, all of those little things. Well, I was buzzing after the retreat workshop. And I've even then, there's so many things I've been doing since then, implementing little bits here and there. I feel like I've got a pathway of so much I want to do. The ideas were blasting left, right, and centre, all around me. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. But instead of just thinking, I want to do this, I've written everything down and I'm sifting through all those things and seeing how they work with everything else. So yeah, it was great. And I would absolutely say to people, just don't think about it. Invest in yourself, invest in your business, and just go. Be in the room with the right people that you need to be listening to. Because if you're not in the room with those people, you're not going to hear the conversations. You're definitely not going to be part of the conversations. And then you can't start those conversations either. And you never know who you're going to meet and
Bessie,
connect up with. So
you gave me chills.
It was lovely. Honestly, I met so many lovely people, other attendees who I stayed in contact with as well. And hopefully I'll meet up with, because it's, again, just having other people that you can brainstorm with and talk about your businesses is fantastic too. So, yeah.
Well, Bessie, I needed to hear all of that for some reason. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so excited too about the forum in Denver. It's really going to be something that the industry has never seen before, truly. But really, your words were such a blessing. So thank you. And it was a blessing to meet you. And I'm glad you booked last minute because it really, truly was. And now I want to hear about your retreats. So tell us about the 2 retreats that are coming up and how much spots you have left. How many?
So retreat in January is in Portugal. So for international listeners, everybody knows Italy, everybody knows France, everybody knows Spain. I would say not as many people know Portugal. It's beautiful. The Atlantic Sea, the food, lots of luxury villas. So very good in terms of locations. Taking 18 people. Working again with my business partner, Victoria, the Reformer Experience, who is based out in the Algarve. And it is called Rest and Restore. So it's very much about coming into January, getting out of your normal space and beginning to start the year in that reflective space. And it's a very nurturing retreat. It's Reformer Pilates in the morning, Reformer Pilates in the evening. Optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. We've got people coming in to do massages, facials, a lymphatic drainage workshop, and delicious food, breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's just going to be gorgeous. There's no spaces left on that, I'm afraid to say. But I am.
Well, that's good news for you. Bad news for all of y'all listening.
news.
So stay tuned for her next
Bad
one
news
in
for
that
listeners.
location.
Yes. And then I've got my June one is in Canelli in the Piemonte region. So it's for people who don't know where that is. It is about an hour from Turin or Milan, or Genoa, depends where you fly into. And that is a Reform Pilates retreat. I've got one room left on that. I sold it to my alumni first, everyone who's been with me before. And I was thrilled at the, I guess the love for that one. I think people saw Italy and they're like, okay, I put Portugal, but I'm coming to Italy as well.
Hey, that's always a good problem to have. I love that so much when that happens.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So you've got one spot left
I've got one spot left, and it can be a solo room or it can be a twin room. This is a small retreat. So there's 18 people going to Portugal, and this is much more of a boutique experience. It's a smaller group. And yeah, there will be between 8 to 10 people, depending on whether it's a solo or a twin.
Gotcha. Oh, how exciting.
Yes.
Well, that information will be linked in the show notes. So anybody who wants to try to grab that last spot, if she hasn't already filled it, be sure to do so. And Bessie, maybe at some point you will feel like you get a little bit of ye in your haw and come out here to Texas and host
I would love to, but you're always fully booked. The retreat ranch.
The ranch is fully booked a year to a year and a half in advance. So we're going to have to plan it out, sister. But I really think that would be so cool.
I would love to come. I would absolutely love to come to the retreat ranch and get those reformers there too.
I'm telling you, we're going to have to figure something out.
We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
Yes,
definitely.
Thank you so much, Bessie, for being on the show. I really, really enjoyed this. And I know our paths are going to cross. Either we're going to see each other at the forum in Denver or at the ranch, or maybe I will see you over in Europe.
Oh, absolutely. I've no doubt. Thank you so much for having me, Shannon.
I love this.
Thank you, all the listeners. And if anyone wants to reach out about reformer retreats in Europe, please get in touch with me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bessie.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.